All right. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Yusuf.
How's your weekend going?
Oh, it's other than being incredibly disappointed in my hockey team from Saturday morning,
Hmm.
I'm good. My weekend's going good. How's yours?
That's great. I'm good. John Gibson got two shutouts in three games. It's great. We get to record early on a Sunday morning for the podcast. By the way, this is Up the Boards. Hello, my name's Yusuf, and that's Alex. This is Up the Boards. Tyler's not here because Tyler's busy doing other things, but we have gotten his blessings to do this today because Alex, I don't. How would you feel if you were talked about constantly in the news that you might get traded to potentially somewhere where your family was, and then end up in Minnesota? Just a
Depends on how much I
hypothetical.
like my family.
Just Jesus, it's just a hypothetical. Let's
Um,
just get this out of the way. Obviously, it's been talked about since it happened on Friday night. Quinn Hughes has been traded.
Quinn Hughes has been traded to the Minnesota Wild. Is such a storyline. I
It's
mean,
I where did they come from? Like, where did
top rope,
Minnesota show
top
up?
rope,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. It's top rope and an elbow drop.
I heard I did see apparently the Red Wings were in on it.
Red Wings
They
are
had an
huge on
offer.
Quinn. Yeah.
The Red Wings were big in on it. I actually didn't see a reported Devils package. There's a lot to get to in breaking this down, but
There's a lot to get to.
I think where Minnesota came from was they offered the best package for this player.
Yeah, that's
I
it
think
at the end of the day.
when you look at it, like the way most people are looking at it, a lot of Vancouver fans are in their feels. I saw a lot of Vancouver internet people being like, you know what? Fuck it. Rooting for the Wild. Hope they win the cup. Because they love Quinn so much and they know that they have strong feelings about their front office.
I mean, how do you justify being a fan of a front office that's traded two captains in 4 years, right? Like, they traded Horvat and then they traded Quinn. Like,
Tyler's not here, so I'm really going to bite my tongue about making a comment about the Rangers, but that's
yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah. Especially if they went to the same team. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Wouldn't that be insane? But who would ever do such a thing? Anyway.
Who would ever do that? Trade a captain?
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. So, yeah, let's talk about this trade. So, going to the Vancouver Canucks is Marco Rossi, one of my favorite young players in the game who still hasn't figured it out, but it's fine. Sorry. Prospect Liam Ogren, who could have potential, we don't know. A first-round pick in this year's upcoming draft in the 2026 first round, and defenseman Zeev Buyam, that's the big part of this package. Like, that's the center point of this whole package. And of course, going to the Minnesota Wild is Quinn Hughes. Every time I say that out loud, I lose my mind a little bit. So I'm like, holy.
Let's do the Vancouver side first.
Yes, just
and
the
then let's jump into
and...
how excited this is for exciting this is for the Wild.
So Vancouver's side of things, once everyone's done mourning, this will take a while. Sorry, Vancouver. But you have to look at this package long term. Right, because I think Vancouver is finally admitting that they're rebuilding. They've been kind of retooling for years, and everyone's like, "What? Pick a side already. Are you retooling or are you rebuilding? Please just pick a lane." And, with the re-signing of Thatcher Demko, the re-signing of Brock Besser, everyone thought, okay, it's a retool. Are you guys going to try to go to the playoffs?
I mean, they were super. The biggest complicating factor is this team was a 1 seed 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. 2 seasons ago.
Roster turnover. It was their own inflicted wounds caused a disaster 24-25 season.
They're not able to
fell
recover.
out. They haven't recovered from that. The team's vibes have not been back at all. They had a slow start, and that was enough they needed for them to do it. But you looked at their offseason moves and you went, I guess there's a high upside team in here. We're not that far removed from them being good, but here they are.
Yeah,
it's
here they are.
I think Vancouver. I'm actually proud of Vancouver for realizing they needed to do this. They clearly had the conversations with Quinn that they needed to have to realize He's not coming back. So if you're going to jumpstart a rebuild, trade him with a year and a half left. They're going to get more now than they would if they waited the whole season with him on the roster to trade him.
Absolutely.
Because now you've armed. Now Minnesota gets him for the rest of the season and next season. And if they want to do anything else with him later, that's another topic. But this is the best package they could have gotten. I think they would have gotten a lot less. If you look at the talent, it's 3 players who were drafted in the first round. It's 3 first-round draft players.
It's 4 first-round picks.
And a 4th first-round and a first-round pick for this draft.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways you can look at it. Rossi is awesome. That whole weird storyline about like Minnesota not wanting to keep him always confused me.
That's the thing, right? It's like this has been talked about for the better part of a year, maybe. I don't even know at this point. It's they're going to trade Marco Rossi. Oh, they're going to trade Marco Rossi. This whole offseason, every other week, it was, hey, did you hear Minnesota's going to trade Marco Rossi? It's like, can you just get this done or sign him? Like, pick one.
Yeah, he's probably a really good 2C at his ceiling, which is a fantastic.
He's probably going to end up being their like long-term 2C, which. If you have to pick anyone, that's a pretty good guy to get.
That's a pretty good 2C. To me, the piece that is exciting is Zeev. He's not exactly been tearing it up with the Wild, right?
No.
But everybody is so high on him. He pretty much announced himself at the last World Juniors tourney.
Yeah.
And everybody went, shoot.
This kid's
and here
good.
he is.
Now, sorry, finish your point. I do want to.
Then he makes the league, and he's on good pace. He's got like 14 points or something like that as a defenseman. I mean, I think that the raw talent is there. Fun fact about Zeev: he was a junior Duck. He's an Orange County native and played Anaheim Ducks youth hockey.
Did he really?
And, yeah,
I never knew that.
Yeah, he there's a wall at Great Park Ice, which is the Ducks training facility, that has Zeev's name on it as a NHL player who trained here as a junior
really
Duck.
Cool. Oh,
yeah,
that's actually really
SoCal
cool.
hockey, baby.
There you go, SoCal hockey. The one thing I did want to say though is I think with Zeev, he had a lot of hype coming in, from his World Juniors performances. And coming into the season, I think everyone was like, "Oh, Minnesota's got another really good defenseman," and he's been doing great this part of the season. It's kind of gone overshadowed though. This was brought up by Steve Dangle when him and Jesse Blake were doing their immediate analysis of this trade. That Zeev Buium is a great defenseman this season, but is being overshadowed by the fact that you have the reigning Calder winner in Lane Hudson doing his thing in Montreal, and you have what might be, and I could probably agree with this, this is paraphrasing but almost verbatim quoting from Steve, potentially the best defensive rookie we've seen in the last quarter century in Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah. Matthew Schaefer might be one of the best two-way defensemen we've ever seen as a rookie.
And he's a rookie. That's freaky.
Yeah.
So
like I think if you take Schaefer out of the equation, even if Hudson is still like doing things in Montreal, I don't think Hudson diminishes Zeev that much.
No, not
Schaefer.
At all. But Schaefer's existence
has gotten everybody to forget about how good Zeev could be.
Exactly.
Now now you're also like, okay, well, great, Zeev's all this, but we traded away an arguably top 5 player in the league, mostly because of defense of positional scarcity.
Yeah.
He's a Quinn Hughes is a Norris
Quinn Hughes,
perennial contender.
I want people to remember this. Quinn Hughes on a good day is a top 2, if not the best defenseman in the NHL, barring Cale Makar. Yeah, that's top 2, not named Cale Makar, right? On a bad day, he's a top 2 defenseman in the NHL, maybe top 3. He's a lunatic, and the fact that like people are obviously a bit bummed because Zeev Buium is a great player and he could have developed well, I think, in Minnesota, especially working with like Brock Faber. Oh my god, you're trading away Zeev Buium, which is a big piece. He's a very highly touted rookie, right? You're getting Quinn Hughes in return. That's
so fine. On the Vancouver side of it.
So yeah,
on the Vancouver side, it's like
Vancouver side of things.
Sure, Zeev is They should not say Zeev is the next Quinn. He probably won't be.
No.
I don't think the games are
It's so hard
too
to
similar.
find a player like Quinn.
Mm-hmm. But Zeev is probably the best available prospect rookie, like upside. I don't think there's a single defensive rookie or prospect in anybody's pool who was available that could have anywhere close to the upside. Keyword being available.
I actually want to hold on to that point for just a little later in this conversation for a good reason. But I do want to add on to that is, in a way, you're right. And also, when you look at, again, the reason that Vancouver's getting this kind of haul is because of rebuild, right? They're looking long term. Zeev's only, 19, I think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's 20 yet. All these players are still young. And they have a first rounder in this coming draft, which is going to be a very loaded draft.
Mm-hmm.
So they could use their own pick, which it belongs to Minnesota. If Minnesota, ends up doing okay in the playoffs, it's like middle, maybe 20th at worst, maybe 21st. Or they can package it for something, try to trade up in the draft and get what they are looking for. Well, that's the whole idea, is they're getting these players because you look at any other things that teams would have offered, and the package there is like, okay, well, these forwards are fine. Because I remember from what I was reading is Vancouver was focused on two things. Number one was I'm looking for a replacement, if you will, for Quinn, like a long-term replacement for Quinn. Center depth. That was the other big one, was center depth, right? So getting a Marco Rossi, great. He's young. You can develop him well. Liam Ogren plays on the wing. He hasn't really looked great in Minnesota. I think 0 points to do like 14 games or something like that. Hopefully he's a developmental project. And, I mean, Vancouver, from what I see, has a pretty good developmental program, considering the Abbotsford Canucks just won the Calder Cup. So we would assume that they're pretty good in developing their players. And then there's Zeev, who is probably just going to be a Vancouver Canuck the rest of his life. And they're just going to have to go from there. It's so interesting to see what Vancouver's going to do now, because I don't think they expected to end up in the sewers at this point in the season, to the point where they had to trade Quinn now. It's December. I think people always talk about how you make frantic trades right before the deadline or at the deadline, things like that, because that's where a lot of people see the rush towards the postseason, rush towards the end of the season. Get
Price
whatever
goes
you
up.
can. Now, price goes up, right? But hey, if you know you need to make some changes, you make those changes as soon as you can. And the Minnesota Wild decided, we're doing that now. Let's talk about the Minnesota side of things.
So if I was a betting man, the Norris winner is going to be in the Central Division.
Oh my God, dude. When I realized that, I was like, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, Josh Morrissey, and Miro Heiskanen are now all in the same division.
And if you definitely don't, I mean, like, it's an arms race, right? This division is an arms race.
Absolutely an arms race now.
This is insane. Also, if you look at the standings, right, there is a sizable gap between the top 3 seeds of the Central Division and the 4th seed.
Yeah.
41 points down to 33 points.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Wild had a bumpy start. Everyone was like, what's going on there? That's weird. Then they decided, man, let's just not lose a game for a month.
They said, hey, Jesper Wallstedt, come here.
Yeah. Be good. And they didn't lose a game for like a month.
Nope.
And they're flying high. And now they've just added Quinn Hughes to their core. That's insane. Can
ridiculous.
you just stamp them as cup contenders?
Okay, so can you stamp them as cup contenders? Playoff contenders, yes. Cup contender, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, because you have to think about how we break up you have to look at how we break up the seeding.
Yeah.
Right. So
because where Minnesota is such a dangerous position to be in. Because if they don't win the Central,
if you're not the 1 seed, the 1 seed in the Central, you have to play either Dallas or Colorado.
Have fun.
And then if you're the 1 seed, you get one of those teams in the second round.
Yeah. So pick your poison, right? Like, but here's the thing though: a 7-game series of Quinn Hughes facing off with either Miro Heiskanen or Cale Makar. Oh,
Cinema.
Also, can we just mention their top pair, Minnesota's top pair, more than likely now is going to be Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes.
That's crazy.
I just want to just let that sink in.
Let me
for
just
a second,
say,
right?
let me just say this: after watching a lot of Quinn in my division for a few years here,
for a few years, yeah.
He's so good, you don't need to pair him with your other top demon.
No, you don't.
Quinn Hughes doesn't have to be on a line with Faber. Now,
No.
they probably will put him there every once in a while.
Well, so here's the thing. I have a theory, though, about that. Carry on. But
Minnesota has such a good decor. It's such a good decor.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Hughes is at least the way he played in Vancouver, which I think is probably the best version of his game, is he is a puck-heavy defenseman.
Yep.
His usage is up there.
Have you seen the stat on his possession time? His average puck possession time per game is 4 minutes.
Okay, that's insane.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's insane. I mean, he's such a good skater. He's so smart with the puck. He's got a great shot. So we'll see if he's going to have that same kind of usage, that same kind of stick time in Minnesota. Obviously, the minutes are always going to be there. But, like, are they going to ask him to drive every shift like he did in Vancouver? Or is he going to get to step back and show us some other aspects of his game that we haven't really gotten to see?
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see.
So what in your mind, and this is the buzzword question I want to ask.
Sure, go for it.
What do you think the floor is for this trade to be worth it? And there's a few different scenarios for Minnesota. So scenario 1, Hughes resigns, obviously worth it.
Yeah.
Scenario 2, he leaves after a year and a half, but you get a cup.
Leaves, get a cup. I'm serious. Okay, so here's the thing. If they have a year and a half with Quinn Hughes. They now have, this is a year and a half long window to get this shit done. Right? Now, I know what you're thinking. If you're listening to me, you're going, Yusuf, what the fuck? Right? They have Brock Faber's young. Their entire decor is pretty young, except for Jared Spurgeon. They have Kirill Kaprizov. They have Jesper Wallstedt in net, and he's young and he's doing great. That is correct. That is all factually correct. However, if Quinn decides to stay, how much money is Quinn going to be getting? Because, yes, I know the cap's going up, but you kind of have a $17 million winger on your team. And this is why I brought up when you mentioned contenders, and I said playoff contender, not cup contender, is because everyone went, oh my God, Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber, Kirill Kaprizov, they're all on a team together. And someone went, have you seen the rest of the Minnesota forward core, though? It's Kirill Kaprizov and his band of merry men. Like, it's like, you know that meme where it's like the drawing of a horse, but like one side is just completely like bad and everything's like a beautiful drawing of a horse. And it's like split into thirds. That's what the Minnesota Wild are, where it's like beautiful third is goaltending, beautiful middle is the defense, and then the ugly third part of the drawing is the forward core, except for like the one nice strand of hair that's Kirill Kaprizov. And you're like, you gotta figure this shit out like now. Like, you gotta, I don't know how like nicer I can be to tell you that, because it's just like, oh boy, this is.
Boy, do they have? They're going to be one of the best defensive teams in the league down the stretch.
Oh, they're going to be so much fun to watch defensively.
They aren't going to give up goals.
No.
Defense in the playoffs comes through, right? So it'll be fascinating to see what kind of game they develop, and who's to say they don't go all in and find a forward in the trade market?
Yeah, right. Like, if they can get their hands on a good center or two, they've got a shot.
Yeah.
Not like instant
in my mind, this trade is worth it.
Yeah.
In any scenario for the Minnesota Wild. If you break it down, he resigns, he stays, great. You brought an amazing player to Minnesota. You win a cup and he leaves. You won a cup. It was worth it. you're contenders for 2 years and you don't win a cup and he leaves. Probably still worth it.
Probably still worth it. For Minnesota too, especially, I think if we're specifically about the team rather than just as a whole, to be a contender in this current market, if you will, and the way the league is right now, the fact that you're willing to put up a fight against the Colorado Avalanche and their 9-headed dragon that they've got hanging around there, and the Dallas Stars, who apparently I've been hearing are in on Nazem Kadri. Good for you, Minnesota. We're so proud of you for finally being able to put up a fight against these two. Because that's just it.
That division is a bloodbath. That division is an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody else. You're fighting for one wild card spot.
Yeah. Congratulations. Good luck. Meanwhile, those three are just going to murder each other. Like the three of the best defensemen in the league are going to be killing each other for God knows how long, for the next 2 years. Unless if Quinn stays, oh my God.
You have three of the best defensemen in the league. You have some of the most fearsome forwards in the entire league. If a Connor McDavid doesn't exist, 1B and 1C are probably also in this division.
Yeah. And the Central's looking good.
And then you look at the goaltending, right? We're not going to talk about playoff Hellebuck, but Hellebuck,
Hellebuck, Wallstedt, and then you have the Woods duo in Colorado.
I mean, they're undeniable.
Yeah.
Like what do these teams not have?
I don't know, man. Also, mentioning Jay Ottinger and whatnot, this is something I wanted to bring up earlier. And this is why I brought up the idea of they're going to put Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber together for a little bit to see how things go. Who's the general manager of the Minnesota Wild, Alex?
Bill Guerin.
That is correct. What else is Bill Guerin going to be GMing in 2 months' time?
The United States Olympic roster.
That's correct. Now, if I'm Bill Guerin and I got this trade done, which I did, I'm looking at these two and going, this could be a top pair for Team USA to take on Canada's top pair in the Colorado Avalanche of Taves Makar.
That's fun.
I'm
That's
just
very
saying,
fun.
That would be really fun. And everything's in the Central Division. Everything. It's going to be incredible. This is going to be
They're going to be so fun to watch.
It's
man.
The last thing I want to bring up, and I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier, is trade packages. So as far as I'm aware, the teams that were in on Quinn, according to Pierre LeBrun from TSN, were, of course, the Detroit Red Wings, and I kind of have an idea what the package would have been. I think a lot of us were speculating it for the last little while, but obviously wasn't enough. The Rangers were apparently also very in on Quinn Hughes. Shocker. Tyler's somewhere crying right now. Actually, he's gigging right now, so it's fine. And obviously the Devils, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Carolina Hurricanes, which that would have been interesting. Right. I had the same reaction too, just like, oh, Carolina.
I don't think that got very far.
No, probably not. And last but not least, and this was the biggest surprise to me, Buffalo. Stop trying to do things.
That would be some weird Stockholm syndrome. Quinn Hughes can't have anything nice type shit.
That would be, and also like, what do you give up if you're Buffalo? Like, you have to give up one of Power or Rasmus Dahlin.
Tage. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Tage or something. Like, yeah, oh man, if this was a 1-for-1 trade, holy. But to talk about trade packages quickly, I think when everyone saw the trade package that Minnesota gave up to get Quinn Hughes, everyone looked at that and went, that makes sense. That makes sense. Zeev Buium is obviously the big point here, and then a first rounder. All makes sense. You look at any other team that was involved potentially in trying to get Quinn, and you have to think about what their version of that would have been. Like, from the Red Wings side of things, right? If it's a center, it's probably going to be, if they're not wanting a young guy, a JT Compher, or a Nate Danielson, or a Marco Kasper. I'm so glad Marco Kasper's still on the team. I love him. But, like a center for the future for development, so a Nate Danielson or a Marco Kasper. Another forward for us, it would have been probably like a Carter Mazer, who's been great in Grand Rapids, and then a obviously defensive prospect for them to develop and be their next Quinn Hughes. In our case, would probably have been Axel Sandin Pellikka. But the rumor I heard is that they wanted Simon Edmondson, and Steve said no, which makes sense because Simon Edmondson's ridiculous. So we leave it at that. You look at the New Jersey side, and this is where I'm surprised that they couldn't get it done. Your package more than likely would have been a first-round pick, Dawson Mercer, probably Alexander Holtz or another prospect, and Simone Nemec. Because at the end of the day, they're kind of doing Nemec dirty, and New Jersey's been doing him dirty for a little bit. And they're not trading Luke. The point was to keep all the brothers together.
I don't think New Jersey's package was very realistic for New Jersey.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
I don't think for New Jersey, if they passionately believe in the brothers thing, which they probably do, at least their fan base does, you don't want to blow up your roster if he's just going to be available to you in a year and a half in free agency.
Yeah, because then the cap's going to go up by that point, so they'll go, okay.
And then you just, if it's that strong, great, take a family discount, come play in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but I very much so think that their trade back, any trade for Quinn Hughes from the Jersey side, it still leaves a lot to be desired on the roster. I think it guts them a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're very much even more relying on Jack to stay healthy.
Yes.
And
What's
so
the thing?
Yeah.
Sorry, finish your point.
I just watched this Devils team play yesterday, and Keefe had them prepared. They were sliding, and Keefe said, "Okay, great. We're gonna play the Ducks. We're gonna just line up on the blue line, make them dump it in, and I want you guys to fight so hard on every puck battle, like your life depends on it." And that's what they did. They won every single puck battle. They outworked the Ducks, who, if you look at the roster and who suited up for the Devils, the Ducks should have won that game like 6-1.
Right.
Especially the way the Ducks have been scoring goals. And what did they do? They put on a excellent defensive showcase, made the Ducks look flat-footed, and whooped them. Just absolutely spanked them. And that's it. There's like a team there. There's a team there.
Yeah.
And that's how they have to play without Jack. If they don't have Jack, they can't score. And if they can't score, they have to play defense. And now they win this game. They win this game handedly by like 3 goals.
Right.
But I just, with how they played, it was a team that was just like, we're going to just win the game. We're going to play the boring style of hockey and win the game, which is what they did.
Yeah. Boring works. Yeah, New Jersey getting Quinn would hamper the roster a lot. Same thing with Carolina. Carolina I don't take seriously, in considering they tried getting Quinn Hughes, because you're gonna give up they're gonna ask for Seth Jarvis. Like, what are you doing?
I don't think they got very far. I bet you they called and somebody wanted to just throw them in. They wanted to get thrown in there.
Carolina called and said, "Hey, what would it take to get Quinn?" They said, "Okay, what's Seth Jarvis doing?" And they hung up the phone. Hello.
That was fast. Yeah.
Probably a very quick conversation. But yeah, all in all, Quinn Hughes is now a member of the of the Minnesota Wild. He's not in Vancouver anymore. Sorry, Vancouver. I almost got your hopes up.
Dude, he's gonna look so good. I love the Wild jerseys. He's gonna look so good in the Wild jersey.
So good.
I can't wait to see. I kind of can't wait to see him in the North Star colors.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, to Quinn.
There was another trade that happened.
There was another trade that happened, and it was truly a trade of all time. Alex, they did it. The Edmonton Oilers did the thing that everyone has been hoping for. They traded for a goalie. There's just one problem. There's just one tiny little problem. That goalie is Tristan Jarry. What is wrong with the Oilers, man?
This trade is so funny. This trade is objectively so funny.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to just cut to the chase here. Do I think this trade improves Edmonton's chances at winning the cup? No. Does this trade hurt their chances at winning the cup? Not any more than if they didn't do it. They still have the engine that's going to drive their team. They still are going to find their way into the playoffs. They still are going to find a way to be threatening in a 7-game series. They have to hope that mentally Jarry can hold it together better through the ups and downs of being the Edmonton Oilers goaltender than Skinner did. And to be honest, if there's a side of this trade that has more upside, I think Pittsburgh is going to get the better goalie play from here to the end, because Skinner is going to be playing for a fun franchise. He's now in a locker room with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Like, that's awesome.
That's kind of nice.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
The vibes aren't totally dead in Pittsburgh. Somehow. And Seelovs is awesome, and they faced each other in the playoffs, funnily enough. I could see Skinner being able to lock in and be the version of himself Edmonton always hoped he was going to be for them when they needed him to.
Yeah.
And I could see Pittsburgh having a nice time with Skinner because he's finally out of that Edmonton. My prediction, nothing changes. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Like I said, this is 100% a trade of all time. It was definitely it was definitely a transaction in the NHL. And for those of you that don't know the whole trade, so long story short, and just the whole trade detail, is the Edmonton Oilers traded their goaltender Stuart Skinner, and I believe defenseman Brett Kulak as well, which I'm a little annoyed out that they traded Kulak because he's great in the playoffs. And in exchange, they received Samuel Poulin, who's fine. Nothing crazy about him and his play, but hopefully they get something good out of him. And, of course, the big piece here being goaltender Tristan Jarry, who was good at some point and then wasn't. Mm-hmm. Like all goaltenders, they get old, they age. Like all people do, they age. Yeah, I'm with you there, right? This is entirely a lateral move. I think the only way Edmonton justifies this with a new goaltender is if they play differently in front of him, which then would beg the question, why couldn't they do that in front of Skinner, right? Like, the saying, the grass is greener on the other side. I'm very much a person nowadays in my life that go, well, the grass is greener on the other side, but what if you just water the grass on the side you're already on and, like, nurture and maintain it? Because it can be green too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All dead grass can be, like, alive again. Just saying, right? So they could have done that with Skinner. But also, when you have almost $20 million invested in turnover master defenseman Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard, there might be a reason Stuart Skinner was letting in a lot. Maybe a chunk of it was his fault, but like your defensive core is kind of
leaky.
Yeah, that's leaky. Yeah, like Edmonton's got. I think everyone's so focused on the goaltender problem because, unfortunately, I hate that Stuart Skinner was being used as a scapegoat for them losing back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, which that's a sentence I thought I'd never say in my life, but here we are. There's other problems the Oilers have. I'm glad they finally got something for the goaltender situation, which really wasn't the situation. Also, you kept Calvin Pickard. Okay, cool. But there's other things the Oilers have to deal with. They're currently not in a top 3 seed in the Pacific. I believe they're in a wild card, or if not out of the wild card. So they've got some work to do.
If you followed the discourse about this trade over like the last little bit and the details, I was listening to Friedman talk about this leading up to this trade.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers put out there that they are going to need to be money in, money out because of their cap situation. That's not exactly a secret because you can do the math.
It's one of the worst kept secrets in the league.
They were going to need somebody to exchange the salaries. The best way to do that is comparable player swap, which is why Skinner gets included. Their option, like what was realistically out there on the market for them to pull off without another team doing them a massive favor and using retention.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm personally just as like they can't keep getting away with this person.
Yeah, but
I'm glad that somebody else didn't give them a free pass to a cup.
At this point, I don't think anyone wants to give the Oilers a free pass to anything. They've made back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. They've lost both. Connor McDavid is staying for two more seasons on a discount. No one's giving Edmonton a free pass or anything anymore. They're like, nope. No. You don't get to complain about not having nice things. You just made back-to-back finals, and the fucking greatest player on this planet is staying with you for 2 years on a discount. You
hell
get
no,
nothing.
I'm not using my retention slot so you can have
exactly.
a better goalie.
No, you're fully paying this man. We're not doing anything here. Insanity.
All right. To not go on for too long about this, but I do have a funny thought.
Okay.
Without the emergence of one Matthew Schaefer and the revitalization of the Islanders,
yes,
you think Sorokin could have been that piece?
Oh, you know what's funny is I really thought he was going to be in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have a very good point. I think
the Islanders have figured out their vibe.
Yeah, I think if Schaefer didn't come in this season, we would see the Islanders of the last 2 years, and potentially, to your point, I think they would have traded Sorokin.
Or could have.
They could have traded Sorokin, right? These are all hypotheticals at this point, because the vibes have changed so much for New York that they're in a playoff spot, and I genuinely Sorokin was one of the few goaltenders I had in mind that would have ended up in Edmonton. Honestly, Thatcher Demko was one of them too, but they kept him, which is weird. Sorry, Vancouver, again, I guess. But Edmonton's got a goalie. It kind of he can do well. He can do well.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what I can't believe though? A lot of people are saying that Pittsburgh benefited a lot more from this trade. I mean, to your point about Stuart Skinner, he's probably going to have a better time in Pittsburgh. Vibes are a little better in that locker room. He gets to hang out with Sidney Crosby and Malkin in the locker room. The vibes are going to be great. Somehow, I don't want to say this out loud because I think if I do, Tyler will hear me and cringe a little bit. Did Kyle Dubas make a good trade?
I to be fair, I'm just going to say I think he made a trade that will not hurt his franchise.
I call it a justifiable trade. Yeah, I think it's the best way to put it. I'm not going to call it good, but I'm going to call it justifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course,
goaltending was a place of a depth piece for them. He gets rid of a kind of embarrassing contract and gets a goalie who's mainly like a mental change of scenery project.
Yep, pretty much.
And they still have their same goaltending depth situation. So it doesn't actively change much for their standings. The rest of the team is going to do that. Anyways.
Yeah, it'll be fine. This will all work out. We'll see how things go. We've still got a whole half of this season to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll figure it out. Maybe they end up playing the Kings again in the first round. Who knows? Poor Edmonton. What do we got next on the bucket list?
Let's go through the divisions and maybe each do one storyline quick.
Okay.
To kind of wrap up this episode.
I like it. All right.
We can each pick a team or a storyline to talk about from each division. So we'll start we'll start on the West Coast, Best Coast, and head over across to the East. Pacific Division currently will go bottom to top. Oh, that's funny. Vancouver, 8th, 25 points.
Who? Oh, them. Ugh.
Calgary, then it goes Calgary, Seattle, both at 30 points. San Jose at 35 points. Edmonton, 36. Kings, 37. Ducks, 39. Vegas, 41. Yusuf, what is your storyline out of the Pacific?
My storyline out of Pacific is what happened to Seattle.
Yeah.
The vibes were so good the last time we did a podcast. And now the vibes are not great. Yeah. Maybe they're still good, but what happened? That's like my joke storyline. Realistically, looking at how the Pacific is right now, I'm so curious as to how that top 3 in the standings is going to look for the division. Because the point difference is 4 points. Vegas is at 41, the Kings are at 37, and of course our Anaheim Ducks are at 39, just smack dab in the middle.
Edmonton is just 1 point behind the Kings.
Yeah. It's a tight division.
It's going to be tight.
It's going to be very interesting to see who ends up coming out on top. And I think that, I mean, obviously, whoever comes out on top will have like a good advantage going into the postseason. But between these three teams, like if we're not counting Edmonton, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if Edmonton can sneak their way in. I think they're just going to end up being a wild card. I think that's my storyline. I think going forward is Edmonton might have to stick to being a wild card.
I think my storyline is, I agree. We'll see. I think my storyline for the division is the wild card seeds as well, but I'll talk about the other one. The Sharks are in a wild card spot.
Yes, they are. It's plan the parade.
California is the California Gauntlet back?
I think the California Gauntlet might actually be back. If one of the California teams can overtake Vegas, the Gauntlet is back.
Oh my God.
Because actually, it's funny. Friedman has brought this up a couple times here and there. All the California teams this season have passed what they call the Vegas test. Can you take on Vegas in a straight 60-minute game and survive?
Mm-hmm.
And or win. And they've all pulled off at least one win against Vegas so far.
Mm-hmm. The Ducks have 2 overtime wins against Vegas.
Yeah. It's can you put up a fight against one of the most dangerous teams in the league?
Mm-hmm. And consistent, dangerous and consistent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They are
Very
both high talent and like well coached. They run a system.
Yeah,
they're committed to running that system.
We don't talk about Mitch Marner, but that's okay. What? Who said that about Mitch Marner?
I'd rather be angry about their backup goaltender.
Aren't we all? But it's okay. We're going to leave his name out of this podcast.
Moving on from the Pacific division, we've already talked about a few times today. The Central. In the bottom, Nashville, 28 points, followed by St. Louis and Winnipeg at 31, the Chicago Blackhawks at 32, Utah Mammoth at 33, the Minnesota Wild at 41, Dallas at 47, and Colorado at 53.
Well, Utah
Colorado still has 2 regulation losses.
Jesus Christ. And one of them's the Islanders. Can we talk about that?
The Islanders have also beaten Dallas.
Dude, the Islanders might win the cup. Matthew Schaefer might win the Calder, the Conn Smythe, and a cup in his rookie year.
All right, so
insane.
Quinn Hughes excluded.
Okay,
what is the storyline for this division?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is we kind of talked about the storyline to open this podcast, didn't we? Who finishes second?
Yes.
That's it. It's who finishes second. If anyone, I swear to God, if anyone out there goes, well, first place, no, it's not. First place in this division is not up for grabs. Colorado looks like 2022 Colorado.
Yusuf, I don't want to wish this on anybody.
No.
I don't want to wish it, you have to be realistic.
I know.
All these players are about to go to the Olympics.
Yep. Oh, that's a good point. That's a very.
There are some X factors here that it's called the injured reserve.
Yeah.
That I don't think you can take anything for granted at this point. No. I think all 3 spots in that division are up for grabs.
Yeah. You know what?
I think the 1 seed is a race. Now, do I think Minnesota is necessarily in the 1 seed race? Time will tell.
12 points behind.
If Dallas wins the division, I would not be surprised.
No, and again, I brought this up earlier, but Dallas is my favorite example of they are in arms race and no one realizes it, because the kind of players they already have through drafting was one thing. The kind of players they picked up over the years all fit that sort of Dallas mantra of they're all skill players, but they also happen to really like punching heads in. And Dallas is kind of not entirely suffering from the same problem that other teams face all the time and needing that proper center depth. But as I said earlier, there's a rumor swirling around that they're in on Nazem Kadri. I know Naz is not the same player he was 4 years ago, but if you give him a change of scenery out at Calgary and you put him on a team like Dallas, where he's surrounded by Roope Hintz, Jamie Benn, Miro Heiskanen, Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnson, oh dear Jesus, the Dallas Stars are going to be something to deal with. They already are.
Yeah.
They already are a force of nature to deal with.
I agree. It's a crazy roster. It's kind of crazy they haven't won a cup thanks to Edmonton.
It's genuinely insane that they have not won a cup yet.
They haven't even been to one.
Yeah.
This core has not been to one.
Yeah. Are you? Oh my God.
My storyline out of this division, we will go from the top to the bottom. There are some notable names on the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues.
And they're not going to be there after the trade deadline.
Exactly. I mean, in Nashville specifically, and I think at this point in St. Louis as well, you look at both the rosters, and the rosters just aren't cutting it. It's not a coaching problem. It's not a general manager problem. It is just a roster construction problem.
Yeah.
They just aren't.
It's just not working.
Just not working.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
How severely do they go on fire sales? Where do they go next? That's to be determined. But I think that will be interesting to see where those pieces end up.
I feel like St. Louis might sell off a few pieces. I think Parayko and Kyrou are the two that stay. I don't know if they trade Colton Parayko, I'd be shocked. But
do you know how many teams would be drooling right now to buy low on
Colton Parayko?
To buy low on a Marchessault or a Stamkos?
Oh, a Stamkos? Yeah. The Dallas Stars might actually benefit from buying low on one of the two.
Marchessault.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we'll see what happens with that division.
No, I can see the Predators going on a bit of fire sale, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the top is set. The top three are not moving out of that top.
Man,
don't
boy,
say
did
it.
Utah get boxed out of a playoff spot.
I knew it was coming. Oh, Utah.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault. They just happened. Boxed the fuck out.
Yeah, they just happened to be in a really difficult.
They just
division.
tried to drive the lane and ran in the shack.
Yeah. Also, man, poor Chicago.
We'll see what happens. Bedard at this point, we don't have the answer, but I think he's their engine. So
he absolutely is, right? And you look at how they're built, their future is so set. Kurchinski, Frank Nazar, Sam Rinzel, Lev Shunov, Bedard, Spencer Knight has been great in net. They're nice for the future. And if Bedard can come back, great. I don't think they can make a run for a wild card at that point, but at least their future's good.
Yeah. At least they have shown they turned a corner. They did it.
Yeah,
finally.
Exactly. So.
All right, let's move on to the Metro. Probably the tightest division of them all. Although it's getting some separation.
A little bit. No,
a day ago.
It's still a little close.
It's a little close.
It's still close. Yeah.
Currently, this entire division gets to play the Ducks, so we'll see what happens. All right, starting at the bottom, Columbus with 32 points. The New York Rangers with 36, tied with the Penguins, who also have 36. The New Jersey Devils are in fifth, with 37. The Flyers also have 37. And the top three, you get Washington at 40, the Islanders at 41, and the Carolina Hurricanes at 42. I'll start on this one.
Sure.
Can Pittsburgh hold it together?
Interesting. I actually had that same question before a different team.
Well, I think I'm taking the same angle I did for the Central Division, which is who has the most interesting tradable assets or need to do a fire sale.
Right. So it's funny you bring that up.
If Pittsburgh holds on, they're not going to sell.
No, but if they start falling off a cliff again,
they need to. They just lost two very embarrassing games.
Yeah,
Friday and Sunday.
Oh man,
losing to the Ducks that quite frankly didn't have any business winning that game.
No, and then losing to the Sharks,
and then blowing a 5-1 lead to the Sharks and losing in overtime. Ouch. So we'll see. We'll see if they hold it together or they spiral.
The Penguins are that team where, again, brought up during the news of the Quinn Hughes trade, is the Quinn Hughes trade is the biggest trade to happen this season. It is, unless Sidney Crosby gets traded.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or maybe yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that's such a ways away hypothetical because it's all dependent on how Pittsburgh is in the next 2 months. Before the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see about Pittsburgh, won't we? My storyline for this division is, can Carolina hold on to the 1 seed? The Islanders are only a point behind them. This is gonna be fun.
Hasn't Ehlers not really been on the ice much this year?
No, he's been hurt for a chunk of it.
Yeah. So get him back.
Yeah. But the fact that they've been able to figure, they have a plus 17 goal differential. I want people to know that. Like, they're actually scoring goals, which is crazy for Carolina. But, I mean, granted, Seth Jarvis is fucking insane. So that helps. But it's a 2-point difference in that top three, right? Carolina is a great team. On paper, they're a cup contender whenever they can be. Their new goaltender, what's his name? Brandon Bussey?
Brandon Bussey. I was just about
Brandon
to bring
Bussey,
him up.
fastest goalie to hit 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
and just when we're starting to have Anderson questions.
Yes, exactly. Just around the time everyone was like, well, Freddie Anderson, well, they have their answer. But there's a red hot, oh my God, they have 19 wins already. Good for them. New York Islanders team, revived from the ashes, thanks to Matthew Schaefer.
Now, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but the Islanders are also going to be dealing with some significant injury problems heading down the rest of the season.
And that's the thing, is what is that slump going to look like? Like, how bad is that slump going to be? We don't know, right? That's one thing to figure out. The Metro Division it's always so tight every season.
4 points separates 3rd and 7th.
Man, you know what though? Good for the Flyers. That's all I gotta say. Good for the Flyers.
All thanks to Dan the Man.
Yep, all thanks to Dan the Man.
All right, let's talk about one last division.
Yes,
the Atlantic Division.
Oh boy.
Starting from the bottom, Buffalo, 30 points.
What? Oh, of course.
Shocker. Ottawa, 32 points. Toronto, 33 points. The Florida Panthers in the middle of the pack with 34 points. Montreal with 36. Boston with 38. Detroit with 39. Tied with the Tampa Bay Lightning at 39. Yusuf, what's your story?
Throughout the whole division, this division's a mess. It's an absolute mess. There's one team in the bottom three that everyone thought shouldn't be there, and that is shockingly the Leafs. And everyone else is kind of just like it's a 5-point difference for first place right now, right, between Tampa and Florida. But my biggest storyline for this division actually has to do with the Florida Panthers. Is this the season they don't make the playoffs?
No, they're going to get Chucky back.
That's right. They are going to get Chucky back. He's back in
Sorry.
January.
He went on his podcast and said he doesn't like it when people call him by his nickname. So
cry about it. Cry about it, Matthew. Who cares, dude? Yeah. Well, because Matthew's back in January, February. He's getting back before the Olympics, right?
Before the Olympics, January.
Yep. Okay. So, that'll be obviously a big help. That'll help. Right?
Marchand finally won't have to do everything himself.
Yeah, it's a good point. Oh, poor Brad Marchand. Oh, poor Brad Marchand. I'm gonna be in such a nice city like Miami. He's got another Stanley Cup ring. Oh, poor Brad Marchand. He's got a nice contract. Poor Brad Marchand. For me, Florida's the big thing to look at because they're currently sitting, I believe, outside of the wild card spot. But
yeah, and are they going to be how they handle the Barkov situation? Do they cut their losses, free up some cap space, make a trade? Do they say, "Oh, nope, you're back. We're going to we'll see you right before the playoff push."
Yeah, exactly. So, we'll see. The other thing too is just looking at how the division is laid out right now. If you held a gun to my head and made me guess who's going to end up finishing first, not top three, just first in this division, I don't know anymore. I genuinely don't know anymore. Because I probably would have said Florida. And then Florida decided to, everyone died. Montreal. Oh, actually, no. Montreal is kind of what I'm looking forward to for this push of the season. Because Jacob Fowler, their rookie goalie, got called up. And
he debuted against the Penguins.
Which, by the way,
did you see that stat? I think everybody saw that stat.
That is the wildest stat I've ever seen in my life.
Hide, Penguins fans.
Yeah, so fun. The stat more or less is the last, what is it, 3 or 4 goalies?
I think it's 4. The last 4 generational goalies
to debut for the Montreal Canadiens were all against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if you're living under a rock or you couldn't name them all, Jacob Fowler is the next one. We don't know if he's going to be generational yet because he just plays for his game, but he looked good. The guy before him was a guy named Carey Price, who I've heard he's pretty good.
San Jose Shark legend Carey
San
Price.
Jose legend Carey Price. The guy before him was Colorado Avalanche legend Patrick Waugh. Like, and I believe the guy before that was Ken Dryden.
Mhm.
Like, holy shit!
That's just a funny coincidence. It means nothing.
It means
that stat
nothing.
could mean
That's the
absolutely
best
nothing.
part is that this means nothing. It's peanuts. But the fact that that's a thing is incredible. Anyway,
It's funny.
Montreal is what I'm kind of looking forward to right now for the back half of this season in the Atlantic. Obviously, I'm looking forward to our Detroit Red Wings. But if Jacob Fowler ends up playing well throughout the rest of the season, the Montreal Canadiens are figured out.
Yeah, and if they can get healthy.
They are complete. And if they can get healthy, yeah.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of injury problems, but
It's that time of the year. But, and like everyone's getting sick too. So yeah, stop licking doorknobs or whatever you guys do.
I mean, my storyline that I want to come up with for this division, I want to put the Canadian fan bases in timeout.
Why? Why are you putting the fan bases of my country on timeout?
Because Ottawa makes the playoffs all of a sudden. Okay, yeah, this is right. We run this division now. Toronto. It's the Toronto Leaf fans just need to end up in timeout anyways.
Gulag.
I Montreal for a little bit. They were at the top of the division, then they had a little bit of a slide.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they need to take a little bit of a chill pill.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
You know, it's so funny though. I understand your sentiment because I see this all the time whenever I hang out with friends here. Is whether they're Montreal fans, Ottawa fans, or not the Leafs fans so much, but if the Montreal Canadiens make the playoffs or they're doing well, all you hear for about a week is, yeah, we told you Lane Hudson's the greatest fucking defenseman of all time. Did you doubt us? If the Ottawa Senators are doing good and they make the playoffs, we fucking told you Jake Sanderson's the greatest defenseman in the fucking history of the world. What are you talking about? If the Leafs make the playoffs, everyone knows what happens there.
Well, they just talk about what they lose. It's fine.
In 1967, we're going to win the cup again. Yeah.
And
Shut up.
And then they say Austin Matthews is a terrible hockey player and trade him.
Oh my God, the Austin. I wish we had more time today to record, but like the Austin Matthews discourse right now is blowing my mind. He's not a good forward.
That's why. That's why I'm putting the Canadian fan bases in timeout.
Fair enough. You know what? Stamp of approval
for this division, at least.
Yeah, that's fine.
This division,
that's completely fine. I mean, the Pacific could probably also just,
just go to timeout.
Put them all in a corner, just like you all stay there. Winnipeg doesn't complain. That's about it.
And it's not even about the players. I'm not even talking about Canadian teams not winning a cup. It's just about how they behave. That's all it is. Like, because I know if you look at all the American rosters for all the American franchises, the one with the most Canadians usually wins the cup.
Yeah,
that is just the stat.
That's just how it is.
That's just the stat.
Yep.
But this is funny. They get so much media attention for all of these things, and the world's always on fire. Or they're going to set the NHL record and they need to pay one of their players a $20 million contract.
Millions of dollars.
Or they're going to get your team's best player in a trade package for nothing.
Yeah, didn't you know that Adam Fox is going to the Leafs? I shouldn't say that out loud. Tyler's going to kill me for this.
When Tyler sees this episode,
all I always see in the group chat is, how could you betray me like this? With all that being
until
said,
Mason was signed, he was basically according to Montreal fans, Mason McTavish was a hab.
Well, yeah,
until he signed his contract. So it's just what they do.
According to every Leafs fan, Steven Stamkos has yet to sign that contract he was offered in 2011.
This has been a fun one.
We may never know. We may never know. Connor McDavid might be a Leaf. No, stop dreaming. Please shut up. We're done here. This is going to be a really interesting next few months. By the time we come back to doing the podcast, it'll be after the holidays. By then, the Olympic rosters will be announced. And boy, will there be a lot to talk about with the Olympics. But overall, good day. I still can't believe Quinn Hughes is in Minnesota now. Good for you, Quinn.
Happy for Wild fan.
Happy for
That's
cool. Yeah, it's about time to be happy for a Minnesota team.
Mm-hmm.
No, good for them. On that note, I think we're done here, Alex.
I think we're done here.
This has been Up the Boards. You can find us here on YouTube as usual. My name's Yusuf, and that's Alex, and we will see you after the holidays. Happy holidays.